Fun yet informative podcast.
Hello and welcome to Mouse House Plus, episode 55. I'm Hank.
And I'm John.
And we're your hosts. We're covering Miss Marvel on Disney Plus. Oh,
everyone, I have no idea how I was able to rope Hank into doing this. So let's see how well we hang out here for.
So the episode is titled Generation Y, as in, why am I watching this? But they had an absolutely, I'm going to give them credit. That intro was super cool. Like the little animation and stuff. And then she's like a Captain Marvel fan girl, and Thor is secretly a gamer. I was like, this is that part. I will be very transparent. I kind of snickered because I remember the Thor gaming incident where he threatened some kid, and I was like, this is good.
So this is actually a callback to the comic book. This is all reminiscent of all the stuff that she used to do, because in the comics, she's a fangirl.
And she has this driver's test, which goes horrifically wrong. Like, instantaneously horrifically wrong. And to me, that was kind of pulled me out of the situation, because I've seen people back into stuff and you know, make mistakes, but it didn't like end in 1 second. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, the thing that got me with this is that when her mom was like, she learned everything from me. And I'm like, oh, I guess that's okay. Maybe that's what we're trying to get at here. Not so much that she failed, but she's a crazy driver. And that's the reason why she like ended up doing that, because she learned from her mom.
What was funny is I was in a vehicle in driver's training, 16 years old or 15 or whatever it is. And we all were looking back. We were all looking back, and the guy that was driving was in drive, and we slammed into a garage door in Flint, Michigan. And the instructor was like, he was terrified. This gigantic brother comes out and is walking towards us, and he's like, oh my gosh. I'm in the back seat just cracking up. And there was no damage, thank goodness. And he gets back there. He was like, let's get out of here. I'm terrified. It was great. So I kind of felt this moment until it was just so, like, completely over the top destruction, you know, just like,
well, but
bam.
see, there really wasn't. But hold on, I went back when we watched it. There really wasn't that a lot of destruction. It just she broke his car. He couldn't drive his car anymore, and I like that, because they're like, you can. And dude, that was good though, because they were like giving him all kinds of shade and every which way to try and make it seem like it was racial, it was sexist, it was just going down the checklist. And he was like, you ran into my car. I can't drive home. I'm walking now. And they're like, oh, okay.
My bad.
Yeah, I like that. You know, they were trying. They're trying to do anything that they could to get around it, but yeah, no.
Do you think they hit the hammer on the nail too frequently with Kamala daydreaming? So her parents are talking, they're rambling, as parents will do, and she's just like off in La La Land. Do you think they kind of went too far with that at some points in this episode?
Huh? I'm sorry, I was in La La Land.
Nah, not bad.
No, I'm going to say this is one of the things in this show that I absolutely like, because watching every part of that, I'm like, yep, that's me on a daily basis right there. Having a conversation, like anything else going on, or just like you're in a conversation and everything just kind of tones out, and you're just like, can I get out of this? How do I do this? You know, and seriously, this is one of the reasons why I like this, because I literally can relate to this. This is like all the science. I'm like watching an ADD or ADHD like like infomercial.
Nice. Now we get the high school. Go ahead.
No. I didn't really have anything else to add. Go ahead.
We get the high school experience, you know, as they do in every show that's about high school. It's people bullying and stuff like that. And Mr. Wilson calls Kamala to the office. Now, Gabe is pretty funny. Gonna give him credit on that. Now, when he starts reciting the Mulan lyrics and he's like, look yourself in the mirror and all that stuff, that was so ridiculous. What did you think?
I thought it was good because even my wife was like, "That's Mulan," and then they're like, then she goes, you're basically singing Mulan," and it was like, I'm like, oh, everyone's on board with this. So. I think it's good because it's they're dropping jokes that you're able to catch. Like you don't even have to be in Marvel at all. It's like very relatable, like little things.
Okay. Now, all she's worried about is Avenger Con. And she's having Bruno, her bestie / possible love interest, airbrushing her costume. And then we get that zombie Captain Marvel reference. Did you catch that?
Yes, I did. That's actually one of the Easter eggs going back to, Marvel Zombies.
What if?
Hey, wait.
Go ahead.
No. Look at the shirt.
Yes. Now that's a good shirt. For those not watching on video, John is wearing a Mouse House Plus patented "What the F" shirt instead of "What if."
I wore that for you, Hank. Because I know that you were going to, this entire episode, you're going to be like, what the?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So after that, we get a package from Kamala's grandma, and it's a box of stuff that Kamala's mom is like, this is just junk and stuff. But we see that coveted bracelet, but Mama takes it away and has the box taken up to the attic. And I love that they introduced that early, since we know that's the MacGuffin of sorts of this first episode.
Yep. So, okay, so I'll be honest. I even though I know this character, I clearly have not paid attention to it that well, because she actually wears that bracelet in the comic books. I didn't realize that. I just thought that was their MacGuffin they put in there for the show, but no, they actually did take an item that she's known to wear, and made that part of, made that the MacGuffin. So, I mean, okay, to me, outside of the powers, I mean, okay, the finding of it works because it came from like a weird spot.
Right. I do want to ask on that. Well, I guess I got to save it for feedback because we have a piece of feedback when it comes to the bracelet itself. So I'll hold off.
Okay.
Now, Bruno is sharing a security cam and a Zuzu system with their family. It is great while the women are getting fitted for this upcoming wedding. That security system, like that whole Zuzu system is hilarious to me. I loved it.
No, I like it. It gets even more complicated later on. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because, my son was like, that's just Alexa. I'm like, yeah, but it's so far it's doing more than what Alexa does. But yeah, I get what you're getting at. Hey, but I mean, what this is boiling down to is that, he's this smart. Like he can make these devices.
He is really good. He is like a miniature Tony Stark.
Well, no, I don't. Let's not go that far.
That's what he's dressed up as, isn't it? Later.
Yes. But...
Exactly. So then Kamala asks if they can go to, her and Bruno can go to Avenger Con, and Mom doesn't trust her. I really enjoyed that her mom was just like, no, I don't trust you, because the dad's like, yeah, we trust you, we don't trust other people, and the mom's like, I don't trust you.
And another key that makes it very real, because I was like real. Watching it when we're just like, and everyone in the house is just laughing because we're like, no, because that's how we all feel.
It's not like she's going to do cocaine. Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. Throw that out there. That always makes things better.
Yes. She's special, literally. And then Big Bro is going to try to fix it. He was kind of cool, too, in this episode. What did you think of him?
Yeah, I thought that he was going to be like the straight player for this whole thing and make it be like you're not going to like him by the end because of that. And then it turned out to not be that way. So, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Very cool. All right. Now, I absolutely was taken back by Bruno's place, but Question: where are the parents?
I don't know. I'm not even sure where his place is in because this
It
is
was like
this is skipping ahead
storefront
because
or
this is one of
something.
those things that I note. Oh yeah, maybe he lives above the store. That's
Yeah.
right. But here's one of the things that I noticed that we see this in even in like Hawkeye. Like, okay, everyone likes to hang out on the roofs and they had to talk and do their their unwind business. I almost feel that every time you have a rooftop shot, there should be other people in the background in the roofs because everyone seems to be doing it.
Right. All right, indeed. Hey, John, dial back the resolution. Your audio's starting to cut out.
All right. I'm dialed back. Is that any better? Better?
Yeah, well,
Worse?
so far.
Worse?
So far, so good.
Okay.
All right. Now Kamala puts on her costume. When her mom says she could go, she wants to go. She wants her to go with her dad, and as Big Hulk and Little Hulk. Oh my gosh, the dad is outstanding.
Yeah,
Loved it.
and I do love that they made those outfits, but honestly, see, they came through, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, that's hard for me to watch, and I'm just watching this, and then my son turns around and was like, it's like, what? Would you let me go to a con, by myself? I'm like, would you mind if I went and just didn't hang out with you at all? And he was like, yeah, and I'm like, I would like it better that way, I think.
Yeah, most certainly. So it kind of bothered me. I'm not gonna lie to you when she was against that and hurt the dad's feelings. It kind of bothered me.
Yeah, no, I kind of can see both sides. I understand. Yes, it really would hurt my feelings, but the same notion, nobody asked her. The only thing she did was ask to go to the thing, and they're giving her these conditions that you can't go unless you're dressed up the same as your dad here.
Right. They don't.
in
their culture, they're making it seem as though they don't want her wearing any kind of provocative outfit, and maybe their idea of provocative is way different than ours would be.
Yeah, I don't think, and that was one of the things that was brought up, and I was like, no, just like basically, it's like if you've ever been to a convention, what she's wearing is nothing.
No, not at all. Now on the roof, Kamala and Bruno talk about what happened, and then there's a near smoochy, and he gives her those glowing gloves. That's really what's gonna set her costume off. Is there some comic book origin of those gloves?
No.
Okay.
That's just they were just trying to make it more reeled into how she's supposed to look when when she's moving around.
Ah, okay. So I was like, man, he's a whiz kid. So let's get that going.
Yeah.
Now at school they have some dodgeball mishaps, air quotes again, and then she gets this elaborate plan for Avenger Con, which I was like, there's too many moving parts in this plan.
Well, I mean, you're also looking at some kid that thinks that she can do some crazy flips out of her window, and I like the fact that Bruno's is like, you can't do that. She's like, shush, I'm planning.
So it's fun. In the attic, Kamala finds the bracelet. And were you more fixated on the bracelet than the actual story behind everything else? Or were you kind of like, push that to the side?
No, I'm fixated on the story because basically, right, what this is all boiling down to is that we've got there's ancient alien artifacts that are spread around Earth that are they belong to something. This is connected to the 10 rings.
Cool.
I'm saying it now. This is my thing. I believe they're connected. They're from whoever made the rings from Shang-Chi, it made this thing as well. I have it because I bet you at the end of this is going to be the exact same situation where it's going to be like, where did this come from? We don't know, but it's probably sending out a signal as well. So that's what I think. I think there's going to be a couple more items like that. It's going to lead to something else. But
So
but
we'll
on a
see.
side note, she put it on, and as soon as it goes shink and extends out, I'd been like, take it off.
Yeah, it's got a mind of its own.
Yep.
The day of the event, the plan doesn't go so smooth. She falls with the branch, and she was like, "That was my way back up." Man, I was like, "That's pretty funny." It
Well,
was humorous.
that's the. You know what? Listen. Out of this entire episode, that is the one unbelievable thing that I pulled off there is when she jumped, because when it landed on her and she was on the ground, I'd be like, yeah, she'd be going to the hospital, because that would have really messed you up right there. But
Yeah.
I mean, so that's the only unbelievable thing there. I know that they did it specifically for, for this show, but yep. But see, so far that's the only thing I didn't like.
She loses her bike. It was really kind of goofy the way they make her lose the bike. I don't know anybody that tries to go in first and pull the bike in. I've never seen anybody attempt that.
Well, it makes me want to look at the more bikes around that area, because I mean, all the buses that I've seen have bike racks on the front, and you're like, you just throw your bike on the front
Or the back.
Yeah. So.
Oh, but whatever. It's cosplay time. She puts on the helmet, but forgets the gloves. I was like, man, he put all that work into the gloves, and you just forget them in the bathroom floor. Number one, don't set anything on a bathroom floor.
Yeah, that is. that
Rule
came out of my
one.
mouth. But like,
Yeah.
why did she do that? Ugh.
Ew.
Okay,
so
hold on. Let's take
Go ahead.
Let's take a step back here at this convention. I call Bakshi. Sorry, I got to remember. I call Bakshi on this. I have never, ever been to a convention that looked that cool. They don't exist like that, people.
No.
Not to that extent.
No.
But it's fun because, okay, did you happen to watch the 5-minute making of thing for this?
No.
Okay, so it has her and Bruno like actually there while they're trying to film, and they're like, I don't know what they think they're doing here. It's like they're expecting us to do a job, but there's lots of cool things for us to play with here. So basically every single time that they had to stop, they just like ran off to do a play in the convention somewhere.
That's funny.
Because all that stuff was, it was real props and whatnot that was there. So yeah, well, they're already in real life, they're fan boy and girl. So, stick them in a place like that. Of course, they're going to be like, I got other things to do.
Oh my goodness.
All right, go ahead.
So when she puts on the bracelet and she, starts glowing, and then she does all those special effects and gets cheered, that's going to be a tough act to follow. But that Ant-Man head falling off and going, that was hilarious.
That thing had some pep behind it, didn't it?
Yeah, a little too much
Just
momentum.
kept plowing through things. Okay, so this is something I don't know. So if somebody wants to call in and give me info on this. So when she put on the bracelet and then kind of fell, and then she ended up in that like pink zone with all those people staring at her, I do not know what that is.
Okay. That was kind of creepy.
Well, again, this is like, it makes me think of the 10 Rings, because if it's like some alien artifact and this is like a communication device, maybe these are the aliens that, that it came from.
Interesting
Possibly.
theory. Now, during that weird...
Wait, where's my sound effect?
Let's see.
It's an interesting theory.
There it is.
Yay. It's the simple things.
During that whole ordeal, she saves Zoe. And I was like, okay, now we have our first rescue, even though it's somebody that arguably some people in this particular episode anyway would say, don't bother, She still saves her bacon, which was fun.
Yeah, I like how she's trying to pull herself together, but the entire time she's like, do you do parties? Can I get your number? And the thing is, like, she didn't realize who she was talking to there. Like,
she's not that hidden.
She's got a mask on, but I feel that you would put two and two together, considering you go to school with her and you don't like each other.
Right. It's kind of goofy. So maybe they used to be friends before or something. I don't know. So back at home, she accidentally uses her powers to boost up to that window because that was going sideways. But her mom is inside waiting in her room. Man, I was having flashbacks to childhood on that one.
Well, on top of that, it's like, oh, she was supposed to be there at 9:30. Oh, I did like that. I love how we like etched like what was going on there, and they're like 9:30, and it's like 11:11. And you're like, that's a little bit late.
Our plan did not work as that was great. Too tight of a window, man. Whenever you make a plan, it can't be that elaborate, and the windows have got to be truncated.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, she was supposed to jump off the bridge onto the bus. So, and I love this because she's like spelling this out, and he's like, and Bruno's like, what? He's like, we can't do that.
We can't. You know how much? Oh man, that would have been horrible. Mm-hmm. A fatality on the whatever the highway is. It's her mom says it's time to stop fantasizing. Do you want to be who we raised you, or some cosmic head in the clouds person? And she this is what I do admire about the character. Instantly after the mom's gone, of course, cosmic. She knows what she wants to be, and I do admire that about the character. I'll say that.
I mean, and I do like that now that she's gonna toy with it. But yeah, you know what, Hank? In the end, I really enjoyed this episode.
We're not done yet.
Okay, come on. Oh, that's right, because we have a whole end scene. I completely forgot.
We have an after credits.
Yes. All right. Well, then I'll hold that comment then.
So we have a government organization that sees the Avenger Con video, and they know those powers are real. Who's the organization?
Oh, it's Damage Control.
Thank goodness they finally get to air on something, because they should have had their own series before, remember?
Yeah, so, okay, I had to look this up because it was already being pumped across the internet, and I was like, I didn't know who the person was. So that guy that was basically saying, oh, I'm going to go get her, he is the one that kind of like did the proposal in Spider-Man No Way Home. So he's a reoccurring character who is already in Damage Control. So they're continuing his character.
He's like Phil Coulson of Damage Control.
No, he is not Phil Coulson. No. Curse your mouth, man. You can't say that.
What about Wu from WandaVision?
I'm fine with Wu. Yes, actually, I was expecting it to be him.
I was hoping it was going to be him. Yes, me too. I was like, please.
They'd be like, could it be this card?
What about this one?
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on my freaking sleight of hand. Oh,
so
man.
that person's name, let's see. Damage Control. Who is Special Agent P.
Okay. I'm actually kind of excited about Damage Control being it. Well, do you want to get into some more Easter eggs or ratings?
Yes. Let me go down the Easter egg list real quick because there's a personal one for me. When they're having their text message and the text messages are appearing as things in the world, I really like that touch. Yeah. That was it really. I had a moment. I even paused it to say that I'm really enjoying how they're doing this. I mean, I like whenever it's like the frowny face pops up as an old fluorescent tube like lighting on the building. So, all right. So let's go down the list. What I got. So she's got a lot of pictures in her background. She actually has classic Captain Marvel drawings of her, which we have not seen in the MCU. Let's talk about the biggest one that I actually spent a half an hour trying to figure out if it was real or not. No, not a half an hour. It was definitely 15 minutes, though. The Big Me, Little Me, a Scott Lang interview podcast. Because, so I was like, oh, this has got to be real. And I'm like looking it up. I'm like looking all over the place for it. And so now there's like a petition. People want that to be real. They want Paul Rudd to make that so they can be a thing. But that's supposed to be like what happened during the battle with Thanos. He's basically like kind of that's how the world knows is because of this podcast. So that was a fun one. So the high school, you saw that high school plaque that had all of Miss Marvel creators are honored on that plaque.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. Mr. Wilson is a nod to Camilla Khan's co-creator. She was talking about wearing the cape from Sorcerer Supreme. That's actually a call out because that happened in the comic books.
Okay.
Let's see. You did the zombie one. Let me see. Avengers Con is held at Camp Lee, the birthplace of Captain America and Hydra.
Ooh.
Yeah, it says Avengers Con
Hydra.
featured countless Avengers cosplay. The exhibit, every exhibit was an Easter egg. How'd you like the little hand drawn of Captain America basically having his butt sticking out saying "You're welcome, America"? that was fun.
That's crazy.
Outside of all the things that are in the background, all the different merchandise, there's a lot of stuff going on there. And then, of course, when we get to see her use the powers that be, the only time that when she stretched out to catch it with her hand, that was supposed to be, us calling out to like what her powers are from the comic books outside of, whatever those stepping stones. But the stepping stone part is that because she was able to stretch and like step up high like this. So I guess that's what they're getting at with that. So yeah, I have a feeling that they're just going to riddle this with Easter eggs. But remember, this is actually aimed at kids more than adults. But I had a great time. Yeah. Yeah. A little bit.
You think?
Hey, can't you tell I'm a kid? Because I love it.
That's what I am struggling with is obviously this is not written for me. This is not my kind of source material that I would be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait until Miss Marvel teams up with the Hulk. It's like I don't care about this character because it's just not for me. It's not really written for me per se.
Oh, this isn't your bag?
I do appreciate the stylish artwork that they add into the live action. I think that's a really cool touch. And if I were a kid, I would think that was very fascinating. And I'd be engaged in that frenetic world that they build around her crazy imagination. I think the schooling stuff, the bullying stuff is just... Hollywood does that to death. Like they're like every school is just a death trap, for your kid, and it's like stop it, stop doing that. Like I said, I can appreciate a lot of the effort that goes into it. I like the parents, and I could relate to some of the stories, like the trust. Like the parents going, yeah, we're not there yet with you, and stuff like that. And that stringent parenting and stuff, I could relate to that because I could remember back to being a kid and stuff. I think just some of the other stuff is just over the top. I don't know how I'm going to like this power set. I think we'll get into that more in the feedback section. But I would say... For me, like this, if I were grading this on my type of superhero, I'd give this a 6. But if I grade this on who it's aimed for and stuff, I think it's proficient. I think it would be a proficient 8 out of 10.
See, and I had a feeling that I was really set to argue with you. You're like, look, you can't say it's that bad because it ticked off a lot of buttons that everyone applies to everyone. So right. For me, yeah, I'm gonna easily give it an 8. Like this is one of the first ones that started off, and it's like it was silly, but it was purposely silly.
Right. It is goofy.
Bring it to a perspective of the audience that it's supposed to be for. But the same notion, I think that some of these other series, if they could have started off a little more lighthearted like they did, then I'm not saying anything about like how they did Moon Knight. That one was, that had to be like rough all the way through. But some of these, this is kind of like how you'd want things to start. Like, and you get it does all the things you need, backstory, semi backstory on where whatever MacGuffin came from. Tack on, reasons for why I'm acting the way that I am, and then just add a little kind of like silliness into it, and then puts you in the right frame of mind. Not all the doom and gloom like they've been doing with a lot of the stuff. So I'm really enjoying what I've seen so far. Is really I enjoy it, and I watch it with the entire family, and I would sit down and watch it again because I had a fun time watching it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I laughed way more than I thought I would throughout the episode, especially the parents. I just love the parents. I think that is more real than people think. the goofy parents. Like,
it's right on.
I kind of like that, and so I'll give it I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. It's not written for me, and I understand and acknowledge that, but I will put myself in a different perspective and just say, for who it's targeted for, this should definitely work.
You hear that, everyone? He poo-pooed this for months and months now, and he's semi-liking it. I will take it. I'll take anything that is not like absolutely horrible.
But I will say this. I'm not invested in the character, so I don't have anything to go on. I don't have any, like the power set, like the hate we got in the comments on YouTube, where they were like, when we talked about, we didn't care about them changing the power set because they don't want to confuse that power set with Mr. Fantastic. And people in the comments were like, that's stupid, and blah, 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 but I'm not invested in the character, so it doesn't bother me.
But I don't think it's that, honestly. And you and I know way better than what they're saying, that's not the real reason why they're not doing her powers the way that they are. But it's because she's an Inhuman, and Inhumans crashed and burned so bad that they don't want to mention it again. So it's really hard to try and bring in a relatable kid character because there really isn't that many that isn't an Inhuman, so you'd have to give her powers somehow. The only other way they could do it is mutants, and they haven't introduced mutants yet.
Well, we're burning through a piece of feedback. Let's bring that in.
Oh, okay,
right now.
okay.
So is she an Inhuman, or does the bracelet give her powers? So I've heard people speculating that there's, Terrigen mist in the bracelet and all this stuff. And I'm like, one, I don't care, and then two, I don't care. But
all right,
for
everyone that knows that Hank doesn't care, I care. You can reach out to me.
So what say you? Is she an Inhuman, or
No.
are you sticking with that they're gonna move off of that peg?
They may try and reintroduce the Inhumans, but it doesn't matter. She's already been introduced, and she's not an Inhuman. We already know that through the Terrigen Mist that she would end up being Cocoon, so it's not what we think it is. And I've already told you at the beginning of this, I think this is another artifact just like the rings.
Interesting. I hope you're right on that, because this will be kind of cool.
Because because the rings themselves were alien in origin. So since they've already introduced that and then gave no explanation to it, you could just keep on adding more things and just rope it all in the exact same category.
I'm reading these out of orders because I gotta end on a high negative note. Did you guys notice that Kamala's outfit colors are inverted from the colors of Carol Danvers' Miss Marvel? I did not notice that at all.
No, I did not notice. I don't know. I did not notice, but at the same notion, they also were doing their own spin on things. So they're trying to do a Miss Marvel cosplay, but it can't. No one ever wins for looking identical. Everyone, you win for crowd applause.
Originality.
So yeah, exactly.
She's
so
got the sash
I would expect
on.
that they're. Yeah. And she doesn't
stuff.
we never saw her wear the sash.
No.
So, yeah.
Okay. So, no, I didn't notice that. That's a good catch if that's 100% factual. I don't know.
Well, that's why there's Google.
I'll get right on that. I'll get researching right on that. Lastly, and I wanted to end on this one. Hank, can you please give me anything positive about the episode? Yes, it ended. All right.
Gee. Oh, come
No,
on.
I gave it some props during that. I gave it some props already. So you heard me already say some cool stuff. I would love to learn how to do that, adding that animated artwork into my YouTube videos. Like while other stuff's going on, have that stuff overlaying like that. That would be epic.
All right,
so
I'm looking at
tell.
I'm looking at pictures of her, and maybe it. I mean, let's see.
Is it true, or
There's
is this
that.
somebody just hit their head on a tree branch like she did?
You have no mercy. Oh man, that's terrific. No, unfortunately I'm looking at nothing but comic book pictures of it. Oh, there we go. Hold on. So yes, because her outfit was blue, and then like the shoulders and gauntlets were red.
Ah,
And I think
okay.
I think all of hers were red. But it doesn't matter. It's still the same color palette.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting that somebody noticed that, because I certainly did not.
They noticed it, but yet they wanted to throw shade at the episode. Was that some? No, wait, hold on. Before I say, now that I've said that, is it the same person who sent us the feedback who said both of those things?
Two things. No, actually, no.
Okay. Because I was
Actually,
gonna be like, how can you notice that, but then be
No,
like,
I
man,
should've-
I'm glad that the episode was up.
No, that's me. That's me saying.
Yeah.
That's my positive thoughts on the episode, was that it ended.
Oh.
I had to get snarky at the end. I can't have people thinking I am going soft here.
No, he's going soft, everybody.
Never.
He's already said that She-Hulk looks interesting.
Shrek, Fiona.
Yes. You know that they're gonna fix that. They have to now. It's too.
Yikes.
As soon as it hits the internet,
It's
you're like,
too
"Oops."
late. It's too late.
Yeah.
Where they're gonna be. It's gonna release this fall, isn't it?
Yeah, but they did the same thing with Sonic.
we'll see.
They released the Sonic trailer, and then you get Ugly Sonic in Chip and Dale.
Awesome.
So
I actually can't wait for that. I think it's gonna be funnier than people think, because it's supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be grounded or anything like that. That She-Hulk show is supposed to actually be kind of. And the preview I saw, I was laughing because I was like, okay, it's ridiculously goofy, and at least it knows it's goofy, instead of them going, this is going up for awards and stuff. I just like when people kind of understand what they're doing. Like, no, we can't win on this front, so guess what? We'll just go over the top goofy and have fun with it. So we'll see when that comes out later this year. We got a lot of shows coming out this year. I don't know how I'm going to pull all this stuff off. Anyway. Well, anything else, John?
You have to send alarm clocks out to all your podcasters. So keep us all in check. Now, I don't have anything else except for I know this is a Marvel, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but so have you seen the trailer for Shazam?
Oh, yes, I have seen that. That looks amazing.
It did look really good.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks like more my alley.
So I was like, look, this is actually what The Rock doing one of the things he's good at. So when The Rock is in a role where he's mad all the time or he's disgruntled, I think he does his best acting.
Yes.
But whenever he's like a leader and he's supposed to be good,
no.
Looking at you, Fast and Furious.
Oh goodness, yikes. Yeah.
So anyway, that was my only thing. So okay. I'm probably going to end up seeing that in the theater because I mean it looks really good.
We'll have to review that with Mel. All right. Well, that is going to do it for this edition of Mouse House Plus. I know you're in shock. I actually was okay with the episode. But tune in next week because I probably won't be. All right. All right. For John, I'm Hank. Until the next time, we are signing off.
Later, Gator.
TPE Network. There ain't nothing